good morning, fifth grade math. So today, you've kind of had like an introduction to squared numbers, like to find the area of a square. We say 3 times 3 or 3 squared or 4 times 4 or 4 squared. So we're going to kind of explain that a little bit more in detail today. Now this is, you will have a few tests and quizzes over squaring numbers and finding the square roots, but it's really more of an introduction to sixth grade. It's really easy. Just because the word sixth grade is attached does not mean it's anything hard or anything that you don't know. It's just showing you something that you already know, basically. You just don't know that you know it. So when we find the area of a square, we say area equals side times side. Or remember yesterday or Friday and Thursday we said side, or Friday it was side squared. So we learned that when we square a number, it just means we're going to multiply that number times itself. So side times side would be 3 times 3, or side squared, 3 squared. So when you have a little number that's written to the right and up higher beside another number, that little number is called an exponent. Go ahead and say exponent 3 times. Exponent, exponent, exponent. Okay? Say it again 3 more times. Exponent, exponent, exponent. And then the big number that the smaller number is beside is called the base. Base, 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 base. So when we find square roots, it's simply multiplying the base times itself. So if the measurement of this square was 16 inches and we were finding the area of it, or the side of the square was 16 inches, and we were finding the area of it, we would say 16 squared, or 16 times 16. So every process in math has an opposite. So the opposite of addition is subtraction, the opposite of multiplication is division, and the opposite of squaring a number is finding its square root. Very, very simple. This is all stuff you know. I'm just showing you that you know it. So if you've seen something that said the square root of 25, we would know that the square root of 25 is 5, because 5 times 5 equals 25. The square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay? The square root of 144 is 12, because 12 times 12 equals 144. So the square root of 25, we can even write it this way, the square root of 25 equals 5. Well, it just equals 5. I was going to say 5 squared, but that wouldn't make sense. It just equals 5, because 5 is what would be multiplied by itself to equal 25. Okay? So let's go ahead and open your books to page 265. And we're going to begin with our story problem. Missy Johnson planted a square flower garden. Each side is 8 yards. What is the area of the yard? So area equals side times side. So you can write either write it, area equals side times side. Area equals 8 times 8. Area equals 8 square, and it was yards, 8 square yards. Or you can go out on a limb, guys, and say area equals side squared. Area equals 8 squared. Area equals 64 square. Sorry about that, guys. 64 square yards. Okay, so that would be your answer. Mr. Taylor's classroom, letter B, is in the shape of a square with an area of 81 square yards. How many yards are in each side? So they're already giving us the area. They're telling us the area is 81 square yards. So for letter B, we're going to find the square root of 81. What is the square root of 81? What number multiplied by itself is going to equal 81? Yes, it is 9. So it would be 9 yards. Okay, now we weren't finding an area here. This was already the area. So our answer here will not have square beside it because we're just finding the side right here, okay? This was the area squared, okay? So this is just our side, 9 yards. Look at section 2. It says write the products. Remember to multiply the base by itself and not by 2. So 1 squared. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 4. 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. 4 squared, go ahead and write your answer. 5 squared, write your answer. 6 squared. 7 squared, we're just multiplying the base by times itself. 8 squared, 8 times 8. 9 squared, 9 times 9. 10 squared. 11 squared. And 12 squared. Okay, go ahead and look at section 3. It says write the square root by counting from 1 to 12. So the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 3, the square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. The square root of 16, 4. 4 times 4 is 16. The square root of 25 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. The square root of 36, 6. 6 times 6 is 36. The square root of 49, 7. 7 times 7 is 49. The square root of 64 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. The square root of 81 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. The square root of 100 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. The square root of 121 is 11. 11 times 11 is 121. And the square root of 144 is 12. 12 times 12 is 144. Look at section 4. It says write the percent for rainy days. Percent is always over 100. It says the total for each day is 10 days. So 5 over 10 is 5. And that would equal 50%. It's 1/2, 50%. 3 days would be 30%. 6 days would be, 6 days would be 60%. 9 days would be 90%. And 1 day would be 10%. Okay? Go ahead and look at section 5. It says write the percent of $1. So 55 pennies, $1 represents 100. So 55 pennies would be 55%. 3 dimes equals 30 cents. So it would be 30%. 1 quarter and 1 nickel equals 30 cents. So it would be 30%. And 7 dimes and 3 nickels, equals 85 cents. So it would be 85%. Go ahead and look at section 7 and look at letter E. Section 7, letter E. So we have 5 1/2 divided by 2 2/3. So we're going to turn our improper fraction, or our mixed numbers, into improper fractions first. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, so that's 11/2, divided by 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, divided by 8/3. Now we are going to change our sign and flip our fraction. Change and flip. 11/2 times 3/8. There's not anything to cancel out here, so 11 times 3 is 33. 2 times 8 is 16. It's an improper fraction. We have to turn it into a whole or mixed number. 16 will go into 33 two times. 2 times 16 is 32. 33 minus 32 is 1. So our answer is 2 and 1/16. Okay? Well, that's not what my book is telling me here. Two times 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8/3. Flip that over. So we have 33/16 equals 2. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong problem. I was trying to figure out how I was wrong on that one. 2 and 1/16 is the correct answer. Sorry, guys. I was looking at the one under it. All right, letter F, we have 0.072 times 9.5. So we're going to multiply. 2 times 5 is 10, put 0 down, carry the 1. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 1 is 36, put 6 down, carry the 3. 0 times 5 is 0, plus 3 is 3. Put a 0 in the ones place. 9 times 2 is 18, put 8 down, carry the 1. 9 times 7 is 63, plus 1 is 64. Put 4 down, carry the 6. 0 times 9 is 0, plus that 6. And we add up our partial products. We have 0, 14, 8, and 6. How many decimal places do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we count over 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is 0.6840. Look at letter I. On letter I, we have 25 squared. This is simply saying we're going to multiply our base times itself. So 25 times 25. 5 times 5 is 10. Put 0 down, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Put a 0 in the ones place. 5 times 2 is 10, put 0 down, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus that 1 is 5. Add up our partial products. 25 squared is 625. What did I do wrong here? 5 times 5 is 25, put 5 down. What did I do, guys? Start over with me, I'm sorry. 5 times 5 is 25, put 5 down, carry the 2. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. There we go. 5 times 2 is 10, put 0 down, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus that 1 is 5. We have 5, 2. So we have 625 is our answer for 25 squared. And then for letter J, we have 37 squared. So we're going to multiply our base times itself. 37 times 37. 7 times 7 is 49. Put 9 down, carry the 4. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 4 is 25. Put a 0 in the ones place. 7 times 3 is 21. Put 1 down, carry the 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. Add up our partial products. And we have 1,369. Okay? We are going to do section 8, letter A. Clean the board real quick. So section 8, letter A, we're finding the perimeter. We have 6 feet by 8 feet. So we have a rectangle. Our perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Perimeter equals 2 times 6 plus 2 times 8. Perimeter equals 12 plus 16. Perimeter equals 38, and our unit of measure is feet. Okay, and then letter B, we're finding the perimeter of a square, and the side equals 5.1 feet. So to find the perimeter of the square, we can say side plus side plus side plus side, or we can say side times 4. So side equals 5.1 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. We have 1 decimal place. So our perimeter is 20.4 feet. Okay? Alrighty, and we're going to go ahead and do section 9, letters A and B together. Section 9A and B. So we are finding areas. We have a rectangle of 6 feet by 8 feet. Area equals length times width. Area equals 6 times 8. Area equals, guys, how can I say 8 and write the number 4? Is that crazy? 6 times 8. Area equals 48 square, we're finding area, feet. Okay? And then the area of a square with the side, 5.1. So this will be area equals 5.1 squared. So 5 area equals 5.1 times 5.1. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Put a 0 in the ones place. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Add our partial products. 10, 6, 1 decimal point. So our area is 260. Oh no, I'm sorry. 26.01. We had 2 decimal places. 26.01 square, and we were talking about, it was feet. Square feet, okay? So, your interactive worksheet today is a quiz, so do your best on your quiz. And I'll see you in language class.